Them individually. Make a question to. Okay, I will do my stuff. Okay. Okay. Hi again. So, Flurina, tell me what you're doing here this week.
Okay, we came here with our experiences from our kitchen collective we have, Asoso, that we were building up during the last 2-3 years. And the idea was to come here and to get to know this place, to also get to know people from here and to share somehow our experiences with the people and to improvise with what we find here or with what is needed here, and while cooking daily also think about a future kitchen or to think about this, to cultivate a way of eating together and meanwhile think about what could the kitchen look like and start also to build it somehow. But
So, how has it been going so far?
Okay, so it has been going well, I think. It was the mood was going up and down a lot because, but this is a good sign, I think, because we were trying very hard to do what we had in mind, but at the same moment trying to listen what the people taking part in the workshop have in mind on their own and what is important for this place. So this is a lot of work that has to go on or start, and I think it has been interesting to bring this way, like we kind of brought the way of hands-on doing, and it was interesting to bring this here and to kind of a little bit force this a little bit stronger in this place and to see what is the reaction also. Yeah, I'm quite happy.
So, you've been cooking for everybody this week. It's been like, I think, 50 people more or less every day. And for me, it's very nice, like comfort food, what you've been preparing for everyone, like warm, like soup we had today, etc. So thank you for that. How do you distribute the roles between yourselves, between the team, and how do you decide in the morning what is going to happen during the day? Is this a strategy that you'd like to share with the people taking over the kitchen after you leave?
So I think there's two parts to this. There's roles that we kind of have from our experience and that we have been working on or refining throughout our work together as a collective. So there's Flurina's work. As you can see here, she has this button, and there's that's her role as a kind of observer and documenter and researcher in a way. And then here's Lino's. No, it's not this one, no. But he has also a button which has a lot to do with his way of instantly doing things, for example, and also the connections he makes, and a very distinct way of doing things, of designing and of simplifying or really boiling things down. That's
I think it's important to start from the material side.
it's a material need perspective, and I have a roll here. It's hidden somewhere. I think the top one. Yeah, and it's the we call it MC, Master of Ceremony, where I try to give a container to things, or a bracket in the beginning, at the end of the day, to give things a kind of posture, or an arch. And so these are roles that we continuously have, and then there is the roles for a meal, for example, or for daily roles, and that's what we hand out at the beginning of the day. Somebody that thinks they want to be responsible to cook the meals and know what the recipe is and know the ingredients that are needed. That would be the cook, the chef of the day, and then there's someone else. I don't know exactly, like the good witch, we call this one, which who looks out for the well-being of the people. And so there's all these different roles, and I think there's these two dimensions of a daily arch and then more of an experience or specialty of the person. Yeah.
And to hand it over to the next. You asked the question if it's also part to leave some of those experiences we have to the upcoming kitchen team or whatever, and I think it's definitely a very important part of how we work together. It's just a really important part for me, and it's harder to hand over the knowledge or those experiences than material. Or I think it's if you shared, I mean, for example, Maria, who was participating, I think she learned so much and she made really important experiences. And I was talking with her this morning, and it was really interesting for me what she thinks is special or worth or whatever, what she observed, and how we can share this knowledge also with people we don't meet. That's really a big question for me somehow. You wanted to say something? Yeah.
Yes, like creating a manual or how long has also been active for, and how did you begin in Basel?
Maybe you can.
Okay, so I think it started 3 years ago, kind of. Two friends of us that were studying art at the moment then, and it started because there was the need to make the university a more lively place where the people are more in exchange with each other, get to know each other, because there are around 1,000 students at this place. And so a group of students started organizing parties, and these two guys, our friends, started cooking for these parties. And I joined them, and other people joined them, and we started with very simple material and very, very improvisational, because there was not a kitchen at the school, and we didn't want to wait until the school has the money or has went through all the stages of organization until we get a kitchen. We just wanted to do it right away, and so out of this way of just doing and starting and taking what there is and organizing came up. And yes, in these 3 years we kind of, this is probably also interesting, we kind of moved away from the university a little bit and went also more into the city. And Yes, now we are cooking for events through all the years, for festivals, for demonstrations, for art, exhibition spaces, openings, and things like that.
So it's a self-organized initiative that began as a response to a need and then took it from there and developed further, right?
Yeah, that's totally correct, I think, and I think it's also very tangible, or it's still at the very core that we are developing from this need, or we're adapting to what is necessary in a way.
Is it a way for you to also earn money? I mean, is it a profit-making endeavor, or is it just, okay, we'll have fun once or twice a month and that's it?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot, because this was one goal probably for the last year of my studies, to also think this further and what it's going to be in the future. And I kind of came up that I see this work, I see myself, I said it like that, I see myself as a cultural worker in the area of food and how food is produced and the culture around food. And I'm kind of hoping that in the future this work is part of the cultural field. So I'm hoping I can open this space and kind of find places where this work is being paid in the end. But I don't know, this is kind of the future of it. So probably there's going to be a space somewhere where the collective is for a fixed and has like cultural events that will take place there, workshops for cooking workshops, probably learning how to ferment things, how to preserve things, or I don't know, things like that. So this is
or maybe also workshops about how to organize a collective, or how to organize a kitchen, or and that there's a lot of knowledge, I think, already in the collective, and it's sometimes kind of tough to make it visible, but I think we're getting better, and
Well, I think for sure you're getting better, because I've been watching how you adapt to the circumstances daily here, and how the way you cook and the way you organize yourself gets more structured every day without losing its flexibility. And I saw that you started actually building something apart from the processes. You started building the kitchen itself as a piece of furniture, let's say. How is this going to evolve until tomorrow? What is the plan?
Maybe you planned a lot.
Yeah, I can tell it. So yes, we built this one space where we want to kind of, it's in the back there, a big cupboard basically, and it's just to hold all the kitchen stuff together. And what is also very important is that we want to build today is a washing station that is big enough so we can also wash the stuff that you use to cook for many people. If we have time, we probably make a kind of table and storage space that you can move around. And I think in the end, it's the idea that the things we are leaving behind now, it's kind of boxes with wheels, and it's elements, and you can add on stuff and you can change the things. It's kind of prototypes that are already working, and I think if a team is cooking here and they use something a lot and they think, okay, this is good, but we can build it a little bit in other way, they can build it again in a better way, a second prototype. So from every spoon and plate and pot and cupboard, I think everything is going to change all the time. So the whole kitchen, all the material is and will be changing.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
It was interesting because I talked with Maria about our method, how we are working, and we made some really little drawings. And what we observed as a difference of what she is knowing, planning processes and how we work, is that our circles are much faster. We have a little need and we just act, we realize something. Then we have another need and we realize something. So the process is really faster, and you can always look back on what you've done and you can improve. And you always have these little success moments, and it's giving you a lot of energy back. I think that's something I learned, it's nice to have some outside view to also reflect about our own methods. And the other thing which I see a big difficulty for me is always the question of how much do you plan, or it's like a mix of doing a proposal for something, but also let the people which will overtake it form it the way they want to have it or they need it. And that was also, before I came here, the difficulty to, I want to have some stuff prepared, but I also want to be flexible to react on the Greek participants or whatever. So it's always hard to find this balance, and it's really an interesting way of working, I think. Mm-hmm.
Well, let me tell you, I'm a bit older than you are. This comes from experience. I mean, the ability to be flexible, to adapt to the circumstances, it always comes with experience. But also this is, we decided to work not only with Greek participants, but also with participants who are not local, because this is something that we lack here. We are a bit afraid to fail. So we're not so prone to experimenting and doing the trial and error thing. And we've seen this in a lot of workshops that we've done already with students from Hyperwerk and elsewhere, that also because it's for a very short period of time, you come here and you need to produce results. So you say, I will experiment, I will play around a bit, and it's always a really good input. And useful to have people from abroad, because they're not afraid to fail so much as, it's a, psychological barrier or whatever. Only for Flurina, because she spoke less than you did, you guys. Tell me one moment that you will remember from this week, or something that made an impression.
I really appreciated that the Bergen people overtook making the rules for the sitting situation. I really liked that a lot, because normally when we have actions, we almost never have chairs and tables somehow. We are outside and no, but people sit in the grass or anywhere. So it was for me also the first time to observe, to curate somehow the sitting situation, and to have these special rules like matching the colors of your clothing, or today it was the birthday spectrum. I really liked to observe what happened and how you meet new people, and what emerged out of this somehow seems strictly rule, but then in something new could grow out of it. That was nice. Mm-hmm.
Another moment. I think there's many.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I think I really loved yesterday evening, for example. We somehow I mean, I think we also have this urge to deliver and to, at the end of the workshop, have some kind of result. It doesn't necessarily need to be materialistic, but there will be something, and it can either vanish in hot air, or you have something that you hand over and someone else takes it on, and so there was this moment where we've decided that we want to produce a furniture, and there would be little time, so we decided we would make this after hour. And it was great that it was very flexible to ask could we work longer, and then everything kind of fell into place, and it was this very buzzing vibe when we were here yesterday, and people were working, and there was a lot of noise, and I so wished that everybody was here to witness that, and yeah, it was so good.
Thank you, guys. Thanks.